This week we are so excited and about the upcoming seminar with Tiziana Filippini, who is one of the pedagogistas in the Reggio schools, but who's also been working with Harvard Graduate School of Education's Project Zero. And it is amazing for us that she is coming to Small World. We are preparing our minds and our hearts for what she is going to be teaching us as a school on Friday. We've also invited 3 other amazing Johannesburg schools, Mimosa School and Kara School of Inquiry and also Sacred Heart, to join us in this co-inquiry about what it means to educate and to offer innovative education for children, which teaches in the way that children learn. So we've particularly asked Tiziana to focus on 3 core concepts, many to do with the brain, but it's very important for teachers to see themselves as researchers. And when you research what is happening in the educational sphere, you cannot help but come across the latest developments in neuroscience and how the brain works and how the brain learns. So we've asked her to speak about three core concepts, and so that's metacognition, ecological thinking, and then also any developments that would be pertinent to us in terms of neuroscience and the Reggio approach. Metacognition, this is our early theories about it, our early observations about it in our school, which is also a lab school. It's a school where teachers use the schooling day for their own research purposes to find out what it is to teach better. So metacognition, as we understand it, is thinking about thinking. I sort of equate it to as if the child brain is, say, a computer. It's not, it's much more complex than that. But if you are just throwing facts at a child's brain and without paying attention to how they make meaning with those facts, how they construct that new knowledge into the existing architecture of the brain, then you are not really teaching. You are simply just, like I say, feeding them fish, and you will have to keep on feeding them fish because they then don't know how to fish themselves. So that's, for me, is a very important part of teaching, is not only teaching content, but teaching strategies of how to make knowledge, how to construct knowledge. We also pay attention to the children's own ability to think about their own thinking. So, asking them questions, not only what this is, but how do you know what this is? What other experience do you have that you are drawing on to make meaning of this right now? I know this sounds very complicated, and that's why we've got Tiziana here, but it's a very, very important part of teaching, which is very undervalued in schools, and which accounts for it's why so many children leave school not being able to remember or apply anything that they've actually learned, any of the content that they've learned, because once it's out on the exam papers, it just kind of disappears, because the teachers were not paying attention to the architecture of the brain. They were just literally throwing in pillows and cushions and furniture. That's how I understand it, hoping to provoke my own understanding also of metacognition. Ecological thinking, this is something that has really been learning about as a staff in our recent project on the Great Forest, and coming to an understanding of a school as a kind of a great forest, as an ecological system. As I understand it, an ecological system is one that is win-win. So there is also an equality, or sort of a democracy democratic relationships that make learning possible. So we've seen amazing things with this recent project where a child will hook somebody in on their learning that you would never expect, but together they will each teach each other what they most need to know. So, for example, a child who solves conflict at this moment in a more passive way, oh yes, okay, fine, you can have it, and will hook in specifically and intellectually and quite intentionally will hook in the child into their play who solves conflict in a more aggressive way. Yeah, I'll take it, thank you very much. And to the two of them will, in a very optimal way, learn what they most need to know from each other. It's a very interesting thing. It's not what us adults would expect. There's so much more to be learned about ecological thinking, and so we can't wait to hear more about that. The developments in neuroscience are very important for our own parenting and also our own teaching. The child cannot learn when their brain is in fight or flight, when their brain is emotionally triggered. So it's very, very important to pay attention to the actual brain and also the different parts of the brain as well. So we, in the end, have a whole brain child, in fact, a whole heart, brain, everything child. So that's what we want to know more about. If you as parents have any questions you'd like us to pass on or to offer to the seminar this Friday, please do. The spaces are limited, else we would have invited you all, and but we can't wait to learn about this together. So wish us luck. It's a big deal for us, and Tiziana Filippini is this absolutely incredible, so well respected master teacher in Reggio, and we know we're going to learn so much from it. Okay, so have a great week, and we'll catch you on the flip side.